What's up? Shout out to my new subscribers. Appreciate it. Antinatalist reach out. Seems like a cool channel. I can vibe with it. So yeah, today is of course the inmendham video, and I'm generally pleased. On that note, I'm generally pleased with how the funding for that channel turned out. Um, I wasn't really funding draft science, but yeah, generally speaking, I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. There was losses and all that stuff, but yeah, that is what it is. I just wanted to get my sweat on. I wanted to make this video too. Shout out to Nick from Gin, the Gin Network. So what's up? Yeah, I wanted to get my sweat on. I just came back from a meeting, and it's just going back into more like medication stuff. Like I can't picture. I don't know. I generally like to keep the faith a little bit. You don't have to keep the faith, and have kids. You just don't. Taking care of someone is taking care of someone, whether it's adoption. Like I just bought a cat. Like I just adopted a cat, like a little kitten. It's like really young and it's new. Because I had another one, and yeah, just generally it's generally cool. Anyway, shout out to the new subscribers and all that, but I want to get a sweat box, like so I can sweat and everything, and then just work on my diet and all that stuff, and kind of hold on to my parents. And if I just don't want to go back on medication for the mere fact that I'm going to be on disability. So if they take away my disability, I just want to coast with it. If I have to try to work, I'll try to work. I can quit jobs, do whatever it takes, and all that stuff. I just don't see myself getting out of this madness that is Virginia. Really, like I really don't. Like, how can I earn my way? Whatever. It just, I don't see myself getting out of this madness for like a while. Just would like to stay out of jail. I'd like to stay out of institutions. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. So, I watched a couple videos. And yeah, I mean, I just always come to these conclusions, and it has a lot to do with watching Gary's videos, watching Amendham's videos, and saying like, well, I don't want this to be my life. And that's my little ounce of faith. An ounce of, it's a Benjamin Franklin quote. It's a Benjamin Franklin quote. An ounce of prevention is a pound of cure, and a pound of cure. That's the Benjamin Franklin quote. And then Gary says, and a pound of cure is a ton of Band-Aids. That's a Benjamin Franklin quote. All of his shit is stolen. And then people use disability so they can keep the money coming in and have like a responsible life. And they think that is taking responsibility. My aspect is more of like a Jewish occultist, Zionist way of thinking, like a more Zionist way of thinking. A Zionist is practically, I mean, it's insane to not compare a Zionist to like not compare a Zionist to a Christian, because a Christian, like by definitions, and definitions are like subjective. Definitions are definitely so subjective, and you can't really, say like, well, it's one or the other. But yeah. because I've been like kicked out of my house before with all the homelessness stuff. Like I've been kicked out of my house before, and it's just like, yeah, whatever, go get treatment, go join a halfway house, and then I just quit everything. I quit, I quit, I quit, I quit, I quit. Um, so yeah, and I've never been good at like working for myself or anything like that. I agree with Gary when he says, there's no, I agree to the extent like, or in the collective consciousness, um, objectivity, I'll try to speak in those, I'll try to speak in that language, like objectively. Um, I don't see, in an opinionated way, I don't see how like there is any efficiency in jobs and working. Like if you want to be a vegan, you got to give people meat. You know what I mean? You got to serve meat. So, and then that's where there's like terrorist groups, and that's, not good. And then it gets into like criminality and what actual crimes are, and actual crimes um, work on like a basis of a net understanding of like what it is to be um, basically, and like I've heard the term a earth eater or a earth eater or something like that, like an earth eater, and that's the parasitic value or the parasitism in life, and that's just a fact. I don't like that word fact because it is all subjective, but when it gets into like objectivity, it's an objective world. It's a very objective world, and you can see right through people because yeah, there's a language system and there's a lot of great value to Inmendham's channel. Um, so yeah, it's just like if you don't step your game up when it comes to like researching health, you're gonna be very forsaken, as to what's happening. Like whether it's with like I can talk about like cardiovascular disease and I can talk about all these different diseases and just do my research on that all day, but I'm still going to be smoking a pipe. Um, because I mean, even then, like, well, that just that aspect to me, like, like tobacco gets me by, but that aspect to me of only talking about health, like, makes me cringe because um, there's no value in that, I guess, objectively. Like, it's also very subjective because when you're talking about labels and all that stuff. Um, but then using the term spirituality can be like a very forsaking topic or a very forsaking subject, like a subject that is like that can go adrift like very easily. So, but I would like to talk about like, eating all that stuff or like, just do what I eat in a day videos. Like my diet has been so terrible. And I can see it in my flesh, but it almost feels like this detoxification from the medication is really putting me off too. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. It's like I don't know. It's weird. Um, so yeah. Um, I don't know. I guess I'll smoke a little bit, but and then yeah, I don't. I was gonna say too. I don't like the term antinatalist because it's like it's just a fact that I mean I don't like that. I don't like truth and fiction and all that stuff. But I've heard like that. Um, who was it? Like what's his face? Like basically the king of antinatalism. Whatever the guy who wrote like Better Never to Have Been. I can't remember the guy's name. Like I never bought the book and all that stuff, but that guy like whatever his name is. You know, it was like I can't believe I can't remember his name, but whatever that guy's name is, you know, like he basically wrote, um, you know, the like somehow like I did a Google search and Google said like, you know, it's probably like one of these stupid opinions. I know like the guy who wrote who better never to have been, you know, wouldn't have said this or wouldn't have put it like this. I mean, he seems like a he seems like a atheist, but um like from an evolutionary perspective that like all animals just kill each other and you know it's just a cycle of destruction or something, something very profane and everything. You know, so it's a profane language discourse, but then if you have two children it's okay, like you're still an antinatalist. Like that's what I don't like. And then there's like an antinatalist plus, which is what Amendham talks about, and then there's an ephilism. There's ethylist. What like being an ethylist is what Amendham also talks about, and you know, and then there's you know preaching, which is very hard to do. So it's very hard to do that without like discourse, without having a discourse, and you're not talking about people. Because Christopher Anderson made a good point about that too. If you don't talk about people, you know, what's the point of just babbling on? But then it turns into the name game, so that shit can get shoved up my ass, right? It's just not good. The name game is fucking terrible, and it's not spiritual. So there's principles behind why you do that, but it's not fucking good. It's disgusting. It's worse than a plague or something, you know? Like physical, some people say physical pain is more harmful than words, but I'm coming to believe that, or I came to believe that words are more destructive and harmful to people than physical pain. So what you go through mentally is more harmful than what you go through physically. And then that makes you talk in circles. So if you talk in circles without talking about people, yeah, I mean, it gets, you know, you can get it shoved up your ass or you get your nuts chopped off or whatever. So yeah, you know, and that's a lot of what I'm going through right now. So yeah. You know, and then smoking weed is another scam too, like smoking marijuana. Smoking marijuana is such a scam because you can't do it publicly, but it's supposed to be medicine. You can only do it privately. Like it's like it's rich man's tobacco. Like tobacco is poor man's weed. It really is. It's true. Um, I'd rather say it's true than that's just a fact because you can't, you know, you're lying if you say that's just a fact. But even when he knows he's lying, he doesn't care about anybody else but his own damn self because he's just taking the medication so he can pickpocket the Federal Reserve or whatever. But that's, you know, whatever. I can just talk like that, right? Talk freely, like fuck names. Um, and all that stuff, like resentments, all that stuff. Like, how do you harbor bliss? And then you can't question life unless you're mentally ill. Like, I heard that too. Or you can only question life if you're mentally ill, or like questioning life. Yes, like you're not mentally ill. You're not mentally ill if you question life. Correct. Um, but that doesn't mean that you're here to have children. There, I mean, it doesn't matter to antinatalists. Antinatalists. That's why antinatalists like the only reason I like, you know, I like passion out of people. I don't like this dweebery. I like passion and like anti-natalism and stuff, but like this dweebery, like I used to watch this one channel, but the guy just got his nuts chopped off. I don't want my nuts chopped off. Nutless bastards. Excuse me, but yeah. So, and then it's just mofos and all this other stuff, and will Tyler be with his parents after all? And then but the whole argument at chasing Nirvana, it's not about chasing Nirvana. It's about it's unbelievable. But it's unbelievable. Like I heard, just to cite my sources in an inmendham video, like he's talking about the Japanese religion, but then he also hates Buddhism. How can you like hate a religion? I mean, religion is one thing, but then it's just like a notion that people use instinctual like facts in their head or something, and don't like, and they set aside religion, like as if religion didn't do anything for the world, as if religion didn't, as if religion's not a fucking piece of technology. I mean, get real. So religion is technology. By the way, and people don't use or utilize that technology. And that's one good thing that comes into like juice fasting. But people don't want to talk about juice fasting, and people don't want to talk about, or not to say that, but it's not good to talk about juice fasting, or it's not good to talk about fasting, and it's not good to talk about, it's not good to talk about the science in health, like the health aspects of science, like health science. And it's true, because people have problems and people don't want to deal with their problems, and we're supposed to just be lolly dolly, giggly gaggly, like in the world. And that's the farce. It takes a lot of hard work to be able to put time and effort into talking about science, because I've recognized those people, and that's the one reason that they're like saving my life. It doesn't take much to just sit in front of a camera and just talk, but if you're doing your research and everything like that, like you can, you can be in school right now using the internet, be like a physical education teacher. I can say that or something, but of course it's not going to be true. But yeah, I mean, this whole philosophy, it's not the philosophy that cuts you down when it's not a philosophy that cuts you down when you have children. When you have children, it's not a philosophy that cuts you down. It's the fact that you're instinctual. It's your instincts. It's biology. People have children, and people aren't going to stop having children. So, and that's another thing with labeling yourself as an anti-natalist. It's just a very new thing. It's just a very new thing, but it's been around. It's been called celibacy, and it's just very true that this stuff can take a toll on you, and you can you can get fucked up. You can get fucked up by work and stress, and people don't realize how much stress plays a part in their health. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for, because I know it stresses me out to talk about health. Like, it stresses me out to talk about that stuff, like to talk about the research and all that, because I'm more of a vagabond. There's lost angels and there's lost vagabonds. And we can't all be angels. It's true. We can't all be angels. I mean, that's a very illicit fact, or a very illicit like word or sentence to say that we are not saints. Even the saints aren't saints. Okay. Got my breath back. Jesus. Jesus. Got my breath back and everything. So, yeah, when your shit clogs up, but, and then, you're talking about like ways to not play the game. Yeah, I mean, that's a good topic. I don't think I'm going to stop persisting in watching Amendham's videos, but at some point it's probably just going to be like, this isn't healthy for me or something like that. But then it's like we have that connection because we smoke. We both smoke. He vapes. I smoke a pipe. Like we have that connection. All smokers have that connection. Nobody else that I follow, I swear, on social media, nobody else that I follow, I swear to God, they don't smoke. It's just that one person. And that's kind of like my long lost connection. I don't, appreciate smoking. I wish it was illegal. It is illegal in Beverly Hills, by the way. Not Beverly Hills, Malibu. It's either Beverly Hills or Malibu that it's like, it's a non-sanctioned tobacco area. Like you can't sell it. So it's probably like illegal, which is very cool. And I was like almost praying for that. You don't pray like, you pray physically. You don't pray mentally. You pray physically like an animal, like you have claws and everything. And that's the evolutionary aspect. Of course, religious people want to talk about the afterlife, but that's a huge topic. The afterlife, I mean, to put it in a nutshell, is like, do you want serial killers and nuclear warfare and atomic bombs going off in your city, in your town, in your neighborhood? Like, that's the aspect, because people need to make a living and people have to work in all this stuff. That's why karma and all these words exist for those reasons. They don't exist just because it's like fucking stupid. Tesla, now one of the greatest physicists ever, is renowned for, basically starting wars and all that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, all this name shit like really should get shoved into the woodwork. It's not good. It's stupid. And yeah, it's silly to think otherwise. So yeah, I don't know. I might take cold showers, but we'll see. Take a hot bath and then a cold shower or something. Yeah, so it's true. Just enjoying the summer. But yeah, I can't take medication, man. It's against my beliefs. It's a belief system. And some people believe that it's better to have a home than to have hope. Somebody is choosing home over hope. That's why hope is a spiritual principle. You don't have hope when you're taking medication. You're giving somebody else your willpower. You don't have any willpower if you are taking medication or if you're using surgery and all that stuff. Unless you're pulling a bullet out of your body or something. Unless you're doing surgery on yourself. There's two ways to think of perspectives. There's two perceptions. One is everything and the other is nothing. But everything is really nothing. And, that's just what it is. So, yeah. I like these car saunas. Definitely got to do this more. So, Yeah. Oh, I haven't sweat this much in forever, man. Infrared. Infrared. So I want to get a sauna box. Yeah, baby. So yeah, I don't know. Probably do an enema too later. How about that? Just because I've been eating so terribly. I mean, I can eat bananas and stuff like that, but good lord. Oof. I do need to get gas. I got apples and oranges left. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm just fucking disgusting. I am. Yeah, I really am. Like, blah. Maybe I'll get back on Reddit. Maybe somebody will post my video on Reddit and it'll go viral again. I've had like 3 viral videos. Um, but yeah, it's a lot easier just to talk than to, do anything else. It's a lot easier to talk about it than to take responsibility for like a lot of shite. Um, listening to people like this, you know. So I don't know. This is good for today. Like I don't know. I got to get this sweat in, right? It's got to be an hour. I'll go take my I'll go take my hot bath.